Let there be light, and there was light. Yes, so I'm doing this presentation on the number 13, and of course, I turned on the camera or the timer, and it says 1:30. So there is 13. So it's a good sign that the gods are always present as well. This really makes me feel good. So looking at death, because the number 13 is relating to death. And death is really a cycle. So this is perhaps the number one thing that we can really take away from this teaching. Now, because of the fear that we have developed or been conditioned around this, the nature or vibration of the number 13 in relation to death, instead of taking the perspective of celebrating or being excited about the newness or whatever it is that we are meant or to become or have or reveal, and we shortchange ourselves into wanting it to stay in the ground a little bit longer, like we were seeds in the ground being planted, because that's the same process as planting. And it's no wonder, in my experience, that I came to understand, it's no wonder that the Garden of Eden couldn't have been a better analogy for life, or this story in a sense really is a very good analogy for life and death, and for life as a whole. So we have looked at this card, which is really the story of Adam and Eve. And of course, we see that we are subjects or of being subjected, we should say, or we are the result of the seed. This is how we have learned it. But the story, as I say, has been conveyed to let us understand ourselves and our life process a little bit more, and to understand our makeup, to understand the functions of the gods. I'm doing this series to really show that basically my understanding is this is a representation of Jesus Christ at the table at the last, having the last supper with his disciples. So of course there were 12 disciples. We see that that correlates with the story of Mother Eve, where Mother Eve says, "Let there be light," which is four words, and these four words equal 12 numerical value. And there was life is another 12 numerical value, which means this is 24. 12, when we do the numerical value for 12, I believe is 8. And that would be, if my memory serves me well, it's another 8. So we are looking at two eights here. Two eights is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So this is giving like a cycle. It's telling us about the cycle of creation. Everything in the 6 days, although we can see when we look very close, everything would have been from the very first word mentioned in the scriptures as in, beginning and end. So basically, if all the seeds of all that has been there, we see the letters themselves offer that meaning. So we are looking at death, and really the word in is also giving us, with the N, is showing something as in and out. So basically it consists of life and death, beginning and end. And likewise is the word death in it, because we eat to keep alive. This is what we tend to do. We eat because we feel we need the nutrition here. In the middle of the word eat, I'll just put this a little bit closer. So it's it, which is what Mother Eve done, or Eve and Adam ate of the fruit. So basically the fruit was meant to have the nutrition, and of course the fruit would be of the flesh, and the fruit would have a seed in it, or it had seed in it. Otherwise, we would not be the result of the sin that was, so to speak, or the act of eating, so to speak, because there is no seed to bring forth after its kind. So in this eating here, we see that again this story of Adam and Eve having ate of the fruit of the tree of life coincides with the story of Christ with the disciples at the table. They ate. Mother Eve ate. Adam and Eve ate. In fact, I just thought of doing a presentation on Adam and Eve actually equals 15. So 15 brings us into the word Adam is 10 and the word Eve is 5. So 15 brings us here. 1, 5, 10, 15. It gives us this new. So there was a new thing happening, a new creation. Let's turn this so slightly so you can see all of the letters. A little bit more, yes. So you can see all the letters here. So, and we had that Christ, I'm not sure if it said Christ or Jesus, ate with the disciples. In fact, there was a part where he said he won't eat until a certain, I think it was that he won't eat until something has passed. But and there we see, but the word eat is repeated or is mentioned there so that it is recorded to coincide with Mother Eve's teachings, or what we have read in Genesis of chapter 1 or 2 or 3 about, it would be Genesis chapter 2 verse 1, or is it 2, or let's see, I'm better off with this. So Genesis of chapter 21. Oh no, I have done something else. Let's just ensure that we've got it right. Genesis chapter 2 verse 17. So basically we are saying that the number 13 is it represents death, but it also represents life, because in the middle of death is where we find life. Now we can see this happening consistently in our lives and in our experiences, that we go through terrible experiences, what we perceive as terrible experiences, but then at the other end of that we find what we call life. So many times people say, oh, this catastrophe that happened to them really saved their lives. At the time, they didn't see the blessing in it. Again, the word that is the blessed God. So that has the 3 vibration. So that 3 vibration is that which propels and life into motion. This is what becomes alive. The word life has the numerical value of 3. And so 5 has the numerical value of 5. So in life as well, which is 5, life we could say has both in it life and death. And we're going to do a numerical value on this to really show that life and death are not as far apart as we think they are. And so we need to really explore these teachings that we have, or these conditions that we have had, to know how to really not let those words determine, or the teachings that we had before determine our emotions about them, but we have an innate understanding, or develop that truth about the words, about the essence, about the concepts that have been divinely given to us. So I'm going to take this off and to really show that. So I have done words like the word believe, and spoken about this to show that in the word believe, in the middle of it has a big fat lie. I call it a big fat lie. I'm using the word believe now just to make a point here. B-E, let's see. But we want to do the same with life. Basically, that's what we are about. So Believe. So we saw that in the word believe is the word lie. I'm making a point here, but also the word believe, I think it is also saying to be like Eve or be to that effect. So there's the word be here. Or there's another way of looking at it. This is bell, and bell meaning like be like a bell, be loud and be bold like Eve. So, and there we have the lie or the bell. Okay, let's just see I in the middle, because Mother Eve says always include yourself in the middle. Always put yourself here. And then so we have Eve. So belle I Eve. It sounds a bit like French, but yeah. So Eve is hair. And then we have bell hair. So your ring or your the eye aspect of you. So I would rather go with the first original understanding with this, but it's just saying it shows the creativity that is available to us. So there we have B, and this is B is 7, lie is 8, and we have of course EVE. This is Eve, but we'll just go with what we have here, which is 9. Adding this together, this is oh, I did get the 7, 8, 9. This is interesting because I did a presentation with 7, 8, 9, which, and I was asking the message, what is the message with the 7, 8, 9, which coincides with this ice age, and I was talking about the ice age here in case you have come across this, because we see that okay, I think I've got it. I'm moving from one to another, but do bear with me. So it's really looking at the functions of the gods, but we had 7, 5, 8 after, or 7, 8, 9 rather. Okay, we'll come back to this. Okay, so 7, 8, 9 was 24. Now 24, this is why, now this is taking us to another aspect of Christ, the teachings of Christ. And why I am saying this is that, and I continue to say that the teachings of Christ is really the same as the story of Genesis with Mother Eve. So we see when we add this together as the ice age, as what we have just said, this is why it is cold, where the body has died, and the body has died, and or it's in the ground, because it's like 2 4s, and I did this 2 4s are 8, meaning the 8 is again as eat, when someone has eaten something, as in the word death. So there we see the word eat equals 8, and it's like telling us that there is 2 aspects here. Okay, 2, or if we add it would be 6, and this is also with Mother Eve. Keeping this in perspective is that the word believe, we see that it has the lie in the middle. Likewise is the word life. It's not in the middle, but we have a word here in the middle that says if. If is something we use as though it were uncertain, as though it were not factual. If, what if that happened? It was that, I see it as a word that propels or ignites creativity. So we can see in the middle of anything here those two words that seem to be so pivotal in Christianity, we could say. The word believe, when Christ says, if you believe in your heart, and we know this as well, that when we believe, the word believe in itself serves as the juice or the gel or the bridge to making something manifest. Likewise, we see life. We say it's if in the middle, if, but it also has the lie, L-I-E, right here, L-I-E, which is that very same word here. So life in itself has a lie in it. Now, when we speak of lie, it could well mean that something, although this is life, but it is also saying to us that there is something that is just flat. It is lying down. It has not been given the yeast or the rising agent to really come about. Now, this really gives me an insight perhaps to say, no, Facebook really perhaps hinge on the most important letter in this sense here, like the F, because the F is like as though it bears a face, and it also has in it the cross, which is, if we were to brush this off, it still has our north, our south, our east, and our west. So basically, this is why F is really seen as the face. The face tells you, it gives you everything. It gives you the indication or the direction, or it gives the contour, it gives the structure, it gives the shape, the face of anything. So the face itself is that which helps us to get this lie to rise, and we could say, what if? It is as if we use that word if quite a lot, and I'm just trying to see that there is something else. Yes, there's another word which is so important for us to notice with the word life. It also is the word file, File. So this is the file, and that's why it is said that everything we do is recorded. Everything we do is filed in the cosmos. Everything is in the universe. This is the life and death. However we want to perceive it, however we look at this file, because it is not just one straight line as though it were just lying down. And of course the face in itself, or the top of the L, to help us elevate, because that's what I feel the L has a very significant role playing here. It's as though it depicts the motion of our feet, because no wonder the scriptures speak so much about the feet and so on, the hands and feet. Okay, so here we see, to make the comparison with death, as I was showing, so we could see that if is that question. It's like it is as though it were a question in itself. If, what if is that it gives that question mark that takes rise within us to find answers. Likewise, in the word death, DEATH, is the word eat. Eat is that which takes its rise within us. It generates or activates or enzymes or neurons and all sorts. It activates something within us. So there we see that these are very important. It's very important to see that life and death are really like the palm of the hands, or the two hands, if you want to put it this way. But one is and one is let's see, they both are really one and the same. So I'm just going to look at these two letters as well at the end. And so LE, we have LE, which would be 8. So 8 in itself is corresponding with this. And here we have 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 is 3. This is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now let's see that 8 is corresponding, this 8 here, 8 is I think I need to really, let's put life here so you can see it here, LIFE. So we have if, and this comes to 8. Hope you can see that. That's 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3. And then we have 9 plus 6. So that's 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So this would be 6 here. And we have, in the middle of this, we have 8. And here we have, okay, this 2 gives us 3. This is 3. But we can see 3 is divisible. 6 is divisible by 3. So 2 3s are 6. And we have 8 is really 8 here. These two match. They match here. Yes. Okay. This matches. This matches. And this matches. And there is a very strong relationship right here. And as we say, this is life. Life is 5. And death is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. When we do the numerical value for 7, let's just get rid of all of this to make sense of this. So life equals 5, death equals 20, which is 2. So we have 5 plus 2 is 7. And we can see yet Mother Eve in the middle. It's not Adam, it's Mother Eve in the middle. There is no indication of Adam apart from the A in the middle of death right there. Now that would make sense because the command not to eat of the fruit was given to Adam. And perhaps this is why the A is in the middle of death, so we can actually see the indication here. Okay. And another thing for us to note, the word death, so basically there's Mother Eve also here, is of 5 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9 is really the end of a cycle and beginning. So basically that which births. It births. And 9, N-I-N-E, of course, brings about 6. So it's 5, 9. We see Mother Eve is still present here with all these 5s. And of course, the 5s are in the middle of 9. So this is 20, 24. Didn't we speak of 24 just a minute ago, where we had I don't quite remember right now, but we just had 24 talking about Mother Eve's spell. So this is indicative of Mother Eve's spell as well, which is 9 right here. And where I feel we added life and death, which was 7. Okay, it will come. Okay, so there's something for us to really pay attention to. So basically, life in itself is the file. It files this aspect. It is it's the recording of the process or that we go through here, because going through this that we do here is also of life, in the sense that we do it to get that nutrition to keep us alive till we, of course, go through the other cycle of that which we call death altogether. Okay, but we have much more to look at on the number 13. So do join me again when we look at die, because I'm looking at death, but I also want to look at die and to see how exactly we came to being at this place with this fearful factor of death, and through the story of Adam and Eve. So I'm just going with how we are intuitively guided to do, and to the best of our abilities for now, but asking for the gods to really reveal the character. And this is all to really show us as well that with this number 9, of course, 1 to 9, 9 is this is the spectrum of life that we are meant to go through. We have seen that it really is life and death. We have seen that it's also, we saw, of course, this is the 24 that we had, the 7, 8, 9, and that was crucial to see that it equals 24, which is where Mother Eve says, let there be light, and there was light. And basically Mother Eve really wants to show us how to eat of the fruit, how to really go through this process. We see the word lie is active there in the position of the 8 in Mother Eve's mouth. So this is the thing, when we eat of something, it gets digested, and then of course it gets activated or used up and gives us this energy. And so this is what has happened, but we have been told that this was like the fall of man. The tree of life in itself, or was it called a tree of life or tree of knowledge of good and evil? Evil, of course, the V is another word that we need to also look at, because V, like evil, EVIL, V is often used in the place of F. So instead of it had been life, in fact, instead of it being life, it has been used as evil, EVIL. I hope you can see this. Okay. Knowledge and good and evil. So good is 5. Again, we see this. And evil is 3. EVIL. Knowledge of good and evil. Okay, we'll deal with knowledge later. So this is 9 and 9, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 21 is very crucial. This is what I am discovering more and more, that 21 is that which forms a habit, breaks a habit. 21, this is where it's on the same par as bread as well, or breast, or these are the things that really propels things into motion or new direction. So this is 3 and this is 5, so adding this together gives us 8. This is where Mother Eve ate of the fruit of the tree of good and evil. So good and evil is 8. So basically Mother Eve right here had no choice, if you like, or was really connecting with that she already was good and evil. That's why it is said everything God did or created or made, he saw it was good. So Eve, this would be Eve, IVE. This is the cycle. So basically the L, as I say, is that which propels life into motion. It's the 3, and the I instead of I, because that's what it would be, EVE, but of course it's life here. So this would be Mother Eve right here. So Mother Eve is part of this, and having et. So et is fact, you could say Eve et is like the word et was her function, her makeup, her title, and that is in itself, it's like the God said. So this is another term we could say for Mother Eve is Eve et. And no wonder there is such a word as Yvette, or name as Yvette. Okay, so the word evil also is the word life spelled backward. So basically, eating of the tree brought about life. It made life live. So we see this is live. Again, Eve is right here. So this is the reverse. This is the reverse to this. It's like the cycle. It's a complete cycle. Live, and then we have live going this way. It's like this way and that way. So it's like a Z. And this is the story of life. This is how it goes. It seems to be like a Z. It's this way, that way, this way, that way. And that is in the beginning, like the word beginning. It goes in and out because it has so many I, N. It is I, N, I, N, I, N. All these I, N. So this is what we are talking about here. Okay. So I hope you get the idea of this with 13, but there's more to be said about 13 when we look at 13, the number 13. Okay. Do join me again because I feel there is more for us to do on 13, and I do want to keep these presentations short. Thank you.